Let's be honest here. Silverstone quaked under the roar of Ferrari red. This wasn't just any Friday. It was the moment Lewis Hamilton, clad in Ferrari red, made it clear that his first podium with the Scuderia is no longer just a dream. In FP1, his lap wasn't simply fast. It was a declaration. The data confirmed a shift that left the expected order in tatters, leaving Charles Leclerc in disbelief and fans silent. Hamilton not only topped FP1 but followed it with a P3 finish in FP2, sending a clear message. I can envision a strong weekend ahead. But make no mistake, this wasn't optimistic humility. It was a statement. The 9-time Silverstone winner had shaken Ferrari out of complacency. Although he admitted that the car needed further tweaks after FP2, the message was clear. Ferrari was on the rise, and Hamilton was now taming the SF-25 like a predator reclaiming lost territory. Meanwhile, Leclerc, while acknowledging the strengths of McLaren and Red Bull, couldn't disguise his unease. "We still need to find more pace in qualifying," he said. But the tide was turning, and Hamilton had already set his sights on Sunday, knowing it was his chance for a breakthrough. The grandstands, painted Ferrari red, buzzed with excitement. Could Hamilton's mastery of high-speed corners and the weight of home crowd pressure be the spark that ignites his first Ferrari podium? He wasn't speaking in Sunday terms. It was a Friday warning. The storm was gathering. What you didn't see in the official broadcast was this. While Leclerc's setup shifted lap after lap in search of that elusive perfect balance, Hamilton's car remained almost eerily stable, methodical, surgical even. Behind that smooth FP1 lap was a setup choice that revealed a much deeper truth. Hamilton had unlocked the ride height and aero balance Ferrari engineers had been chasing for half a season. He wasn't just fast. He was confident in the corners where the SF-25 had previously let him down. Sector 2, particularly through Copse and Beckett's, told the real story. Hamilton's throttle application was earlier and more assertive. This wasn't just engineering precision, it was emotional trust in the machine, a turning point. In contrast, Leclerc, despite finishing P2 in FP2, couldn't conceal his frustration. He was seen gesturing animatedly in the garage, and his radio communication revealed a key line. "I still can't feel the rear in turn 13. That sentence. It was a crack in the armor. While Hamilton honed his weapon, Leclerc was still negotiating with his own. It wasn't about fractions of a second. It was about clarity. And right now, Hamilton was seeing the battlefield in much sharper focus. Beneath the balanced Friday performance, a quiet message was being delivered. The tide inside Ferrari might be shifting, and not in Leclerc's favor. It wasn't the lap time or the P1 on the timing sheets. It was the silence. After Hamilton climbed out of the car, Leclerc stood next to his own SF-25, helmet still on, eyes fixed on the screens. No smile, no acknowledgement, just calculation. The cameras didn't capture it, but the engineers did. Hamilton's long-run pace on high fuel mirrored Leclerc's race simulations. Same compound, same stint length, but Hamilton's tire degradation curve was flatter, more controlled. In Silverstone, tire life is crucial. Leclerc's consistency on Sundays has been his strength this season, but this time there was no margin. Hamilton didn't just match him, he mirrored Leclerc's strength, then added the psychological weight of consistency under pressure, all in front of his home crowd with Ferrari fans hoping for salvation. When asked if he was pleased after the session, Leclerc replied, "We still need to improve quali." But what he truly meant was something more profound. "I've lost my edge, and I know it." This wasn't just about rivalry. This was a foretelling. For the first time since Bahrain, Hamilton's data wasn't just trailing Leclerc's, it was alongside it, possibly even ahead. And when two alphas share a garage, even milliseconds become significant declarations. The real question isn't whether Hamilton can finally grab his first podium, it's whether Leclerc can prevent it. To understand the storm brewing at Silverstone, we need to look back at Spielberg. Austria wasn't merely a P4 for Hamilton, it was the spark that lit a psychological fire in a season that had been full of adaptation struggles. For the first time, he finished close to Leclerc without relying on safety cars or chaos, just pure pace, pure progression. And Ferrari took notice. Behind closed doors, telemetry analysts flagged a concerning trend. Hamilton's consistency in medium-speed corners had outpaced Leclerc's, a section traditionally dominated by the Monegasque. That wasn't adaptation, that was the awakening of a predator. Now, at Silverstone, those same strengths resurfaced. In high-speed transitions, where the SF-25 had once felt twitchy under Hamilton, he was now cutting through corners with precision and rhythm. The Austria data wasn't a one-off, it was part of a larger pattern. Leclerc's Austria podium had masked the fact that Hamilton had closed the gap and in some corners outclassed him. Silverstone merely removed the disguise, and with the crowd behind him, the British Lion didn't need DRS, he needed belief. Now he has both. That fourth place wasn't a result. It was a warning shot. And this weekend, it's echoing louder than ever. Silverstone doesn't forgive, and it never forgets. That's why when Hamilton said, "You never know here, the wind, the rain," he wasn't being poetic. He was invoking trauma and weaponizing it. 12 months ago, it was the rain that handed Hamilton his final win in Mercedes colors, beating faster McLarens, not by chance but by instinct. He read the clouds better than any strategist. He danced on in while others hesitated. That memory isn't nostalgia, it's ammunition. And now with unsettled forecast for Sunday, the paddock feels it. If rain returns, Hamilton becomes something else. Not a Ferrari driver, a force. Leclerc, by contrast, has always been precise, but never instinctual in chaos. His brilliance is in rhythm, not improvisation. And Ferrari knows that. That's why quietly engineers are now recalibrating simulations not around Leclerc's ideal dry lines, but Hamilton's wet history. It's subtle, but it's real. When the skies threaten, experience matters more than raw pace. And in that arena, Hamilton doesn't compete. He dominates. Silverstone in the wet. That's his theater. If clouds form Sunday, Leclerc's biggest threat won't be McLaren's pace. It'll be the ghost in red. Who's already seen this movie and written its ending? While headlines praise Hamilton's pace, the real story hides in the pit wall. Riccardo Adami, once Leclerc's most trusted engineer, has become Hamilton's quiet architect. And this isn't coincidence, it's realignment. Adami was reassigned at the start of the season. At first, the media called it internal restructuring, but now insiders whisper it was strategic because in the past 3 races, the radio traffic between Adami and Hamilton has grown sharper, more intuitive. The tone isn't experimental. It's intimate, like 2 minds speaking the same technical language. Leclerc, on the other hand, is now working with a newer voice. Talented, yes, but not bonded, not yet. And in Formula One, that half-second delay in understanding can cost races. Friday in Silverstone, Hamilton's run plan changed mid-session without panic, without delay. Adami simply said, "Box now. Plan Delta Red." Within 2 laps, Hamilton was back out, nailing sector consistency that stunned analysts. Leclerc's run delayed, tires cooled, flow lost. This isn't about favoritism, it's about focus. Ferrari is beginning to tilt its internal gravity. And when the engineer who once built Leclerc's rise is now scripting Hamilton's resurgence, the message is clear. Legacy is shifting quietly but decisively. For most, a podium is points for Hamilton at Silverstone. It's something else entirely. Legacy correction. He didn't leave Mercedes to fade. He left to reignite, and doing it in red at home is more than symbolic. It's redemptive. Because behind the calm interviews and diplomatic smiles lies a driver who's heard every whisper. Too old, too late, too political. This podium isn't just a trophy. It's a rebuttal, a war cry. And Ferrari needs it too badly. Since 2022, no red car has stood tallest at Silverstone. And despite Leclerc's flashes of brilliance, it's Hamilton who holds the keys to this circuit soul. 9 wins, countless comebacks. No one manipulates this track's emotion like him. The team knows if there's a place for a Hamilton resurrection, it's here. That's why every adjustment, every tire call, every millimeter of front wing angle. This weekend isn't just about race performance, it's about legacy engineering. Crafting a moment that will outlive the season. And make no mistake, If Hamilton stands on that podium in front of that crowd in Ferrari red, it won't just be history. It will be a shift, a declaration that 2025 belongs to someone no longer chasing greatness, but reclaiming it. What Sunday might reveal, the cameras won't. Because this isn't just a race, it's a collision course. Data tells one story, but body language told another on Friday night. The clerk, usually vocal, walked past reporters. Eyes down. Hamilton, calm, poised, like someone who knows what's coming. Inside the Ferrari motorhome, there's tension, not hostility. Something quieter, more dangerous. Two visions of Ferrari's future now occupy the same space. L. Clerk, the heir the team built. Hamilton, the legend they borrowed, who now threatens to become permanent. And the numbers don't lie. High-fuel simulations place Hamilton within striking distance of P2 over a full stint on a track where he traditionally finds a tenth. Others can't add possible rain, and the advantage swings further. He's not the outsider anymore. He's the storm brewing under the surface. But Ferrari won't say it. They'll speak of team effort, of positive signs. Don't believe it. Because when Hamilton said, "I can dream of having a strong weekend," he wasn't dreaming. He was warning them. And if you want to see how far that warning goes, watch Turn 1 on Sunday. If he's ahead of the clerk by then, the rest of the race won't be a battle. It will be a reckoning. If you believe the truth lives between the radio attic, the tire data, and the silence of the paddock, stay with